Okay. Last class, since last 3 days, all the classes, whatever we have discussed, it's everything based on the OWD is when the OWD is private. Then what are the different ways that we can share the record to the another user? That's what we have discussed. So when the OWD is private, we have discussed the sharing settings, type of sharing. We have discussed the public group. We have discussed the delegated, administrator. We have discussed the all type of sharing rules, right? This is what we were discussing on last few classes. This is when the OWD is private. But apart from the private, we also have we also have a public read-only and public read-write. Now, next thing we will see on when you go to the sharing setting. Let's go to the sharing settings, OWD options. So we have set it the account as a private. Now we will like what will happen if I set the public read only? What will happen if I set the public read write? Now, first of all, what is the private? What is a private? What do you mean by private?
Only the records which are created by the user, only he can see the record. No other person can see.
When the object's OWD is set as a private, then if any of the users creates a record inside the object, the record will be visible only to the record owner. Only to the record owner and his manager. Based on the role hierarchy. Based on role hierarchy. Other users inside the organization, they cannot see. Other users inside the organization does not have the access. See the record. This is private. And next we have a public read only. And next one is public read write. Public read write. Public read only and public read write. So when it is a public read only, what is that means? If somebody is creating it, if CTO is creating the record. Now we have this structure that we have discussed. We have this structure that we have already discussed, right? So whenever the CTO is creating the record inside the account, only this person can see and this person can see when it is a private. If in case, if we want other person to see the record, public read only. Public read only. What it will do, public read only means The others also can see the record, but they cannot edit it. If this person is creating the record, and if my OWD is set as a public read only, then other members inside the organization can see the record, but they cannot edit the record. They cannot edit the record. When it comes to the public read write, the other persons inside the organization can see the record as well as they can edit the record. They can see the record and they can edit the record, but they do not have an option to share. They do not have an option to delete. Right? That is the difference between the public read only and public read write. Now coming to the definition of the public read only. So if the object's OWD is set to public read only, then if any of the user creates a record, inside the object, then the record will get visible to all users inside the organization. That means right now, whoever is the owner of this record, they will have a full control on this record. When I say full control, view, edit, delete, share, all the options will be available with the owner. But other users in the organization will get only read-only access. They will not have all other access. Like the record owner and his manager will get full access or full control on the record. What is mean by full control? They can have all CRUD operations will be available. Right, along with that, they can share the record. Whereas other users inside the organization will get read-only access on the record. Right? Coming to public read-write. Public read-write definition is also same, but here, if the object's OWD is public read-write, then if any of the user creates a record inside the object, then the record will be get visible inside the organization. All the users can able to see. The record. What is that mean? The record owner and his manager will have a full control, but other users will have the access is read-write access. Other users will have read-write access, right? So sharing mechanism will come only when we have a private. But in case when it is a public read only, in case if you want to write access to the other users, then we have to use the sharing. But highly used sharing rules are when we have a private. Read only when the OWD option is public read only, very less use case of sharing rules. High usability is when we have a OWD setting as private. Now this is fine. This is OWD private, public read only, public read write. Right? This is the OWD setting. This is the OWD setting. Now let's assume that I have a record which I have created it. Some ABC record. I have some account record. Assume that Jenny Point. This is the customer account information, which I was working on it. Okay. Now, for example, I wanted to change the ownership. Right now here it is showing that my ownership. Okay. I have created the owner. I have created the record. That's the reason owner is coming as my name. Now let's assume that if I wanted to transfer the record ownership from one user to another user, I wanted to transfer the record. Basically, I do not want to apply any sharing rule or anything. I do not want to do any sharing rule, no, nothing. I just wanted to transfer the record ownership from one user to another user. Whenever if we want to transfer the record ownership from one user to another user, we are using the help of OWD option called as a public read write transfer. We have another option called OWD public read write transfer that is applicable only for case and lead. Public read write transfer. Now, what is exactly public read write? Okay. Now, what is the difference when I have a public read write and public read write transfer? When it comes to the public read write, when we have a public read write, so whenever we are making a OWD option as a public read write, whenever we are making a OWD option as a public read write from, and I click on a save button, what will happen from then onwards? If any of the user creates a record inside the object, the record will be visible to all the users inside the organization. Then the users maybe belong to any profile. It could be any profile. It doesn't matter whether the person is belong to the different profile, partner community, or whatever it may be. Different profiles if we have, it will be busy irrespective of the profile, irrespective of the user. Every user will be able to access the record that is created by us. Now, in this case, when we have a public read write, so at this time, the record owner and his manager will have a full control of the record, and the other users will have read write permission. That means they can see, they can modify the record or the record values, but they cannot remove the current sharing to the other users. They cannot do the sharing or they cannot remove the sharing. But in some cases, we would like to transfer the record ownership. I would like to transfer the record ownership. Then how to transfer the record ownership? So like what is the, here is the difference between the sharing and transfer. Sharing is which I am going to share the record with other person where they will have a certain level of access, certain level of access. They will not have a full control on it when we do the sharing. When we do the sharing, they will not have a full control on it. Like I have a record. For example, I have created a record. Okay, I have created a record 1. And right now the owner is my name. I'm the owner. Now when I'm the owner, I'll have full control on it. I can control the sharing, I can do the delete, whatever is there. So there is a lot of flexibility that I can make it. But when I share the record, I'm sharing the record to let's suppose Amala. I'm sharing the record to Amala. So what will happen? She will have access, but certain level of access, only limited level of access. She cannot do the work similar to me. That means she does not have access to the sharing. She cannot control the sharing. She cannot delete the sharing. The other person, whomever I'm sharing the record, that person will have a limited access. Limited access. Limited access. But if I transfer the record, probably the other user will get a more access. If I transfer the record, what will happen? The complete ownership is going to change it. The complete ownership is going to change. For example, let's assume that I have a vehicle. Okay, I have Ertiga vehicle. I'm the owner of the vehicle. Because I have purchased it and I have like 2 years back, I have purchased it and I have a complete ownership on the vehicle. I can do whatever the modification I can remove or I can change or whatever I wanted to do on the vehicle. I have a full control on the vehicle. Now, today, one of my friend asked that they need a vehicle because they are going for a long drive. Now I'll give the keys to that person. That means I'm sharing my vehicle to other person. I'm sharing my vehicle. I'm the owner. All the documentation, everything which says that I'm the owner. But for today, the person is going to handle the vehicle. I'm going to share the vehicle keys to that person. Does that person will have a full control on the vehicle? He cannot. He cannot even have a single scratch on my vehicle. He cannot change anything, coloring, seat cover or anything. He cannot do that because he does not have a full control on it. He just taken the sharing. That means he is a temporary person which he will be using it for some time. So that means even though I'm sharing my vehicle to my friend, I'm still the owner. I'm still the owner. If tomorrow something happens to vehicle, once he is back from the long drive, I have a full authority to ask that person that why the scratches on my vehicle, right? So everything, full authority is there on my vehicle. Now let's suppose after 1 year, I wanted to sell my vehicle. Till now what I have done the sharing. Whoever is asked for the help, I was just sharing the vehicle to that person on that day. Now let's assume that I wanted to sell my car, or I assume that I have already sold my vehicle. Now when I sold my vehicle, what happened here? As soon as it is sold, probably it is second hand, somebody has taken it. When I sold the vehicle, the next thing is that immediately the registration documents and everything, what are the documents we have on the vehicle, everywhere we have to change the owner of the new person. I have to take out the owner of the old person, give the new person name in the owner. In the registration form or vehicle documentation, all the documentation, I have to change that. Right now, what is happening? We are changing the owner of the vehicle. That means once it is changed the owner of the vehicle, whoever is purchased the vehicle, now that person has a full authority. I'll not be having an authority on that vehicle because I lost it. Why I lost it? I transferred the vehicle. I sold my vehicle. I transferred all the information to that person. The owner information is changed. Now I cannot even ask if there are any scratches on my vehicle, because I need not to worry about it. Now the vehicle is not with me, right? So other people have a full control. Whoever purchased it, they will have a full control on it. Similarly, we have here, I wanted to transfer the record. I wanted to transfer the record to some other person. If I wanted to transfer the record, for example, this customer data, I'm handling it. Now I got another critical customer whom I wanted to deal with it. but at the same time, 2 customers are important. Now what I can do is, instead of sharing it, because the person has to do more work, need a more authority, I cannot share the record with that person. That person need a full authority in order to deal with this customer. So I wanted to share this record with another person. I wanted to transfer the record to another person. Now, what are the different ways we can transfer the record? Transfer the record. So transfer the record is in different ways. One is manual transfer, and the second one is automated transfer. Second one is automated transfer. Now here, okay. Now this person is the owner. Now I wanted to change the owner, right? Now we have one option called here change owner. There is an icon just next to the field. At the end of the field, I have a icon here. I can do this, or I have a button here. Either one I can do it. Either I can click on this icon, or I can click on this button. Whichever the one I click on it, it simply take it to the same one. Now let's click on this. So both are coming into the same screen. Now this person is the owner. Now I'm going to change the person. Let's suppose that I'll put as a development user. When I'm transferring the owner, it asks certain information, whether we want all the related opportunities also you wanted to transfer to this person, whomever you are transferring it, all open opportunities owned by others. Do you wanted to transfer those information to this person? Yes. Do you wanted to transfer account owners that are closed opportunities, not only the open, closed opportunities also you wanted to deal with it? Yes. Transfer the account owners open cases, you wanted to transfer the cases also? Yes. Transfer all of this account owners cases. Do you wanted to do all of this account owner cases? In case if you wanted to do, you can do it, or if you do not want, you can leave that. Send a native notification to email. That means as soon as this owner is updated, then I wanted to send a notification to this person. Let's assume that I'm transferring all of my account details, right? So send a notification as soon as the record is owner is changed. As soon as the record owner is changed. Now, when I transfer it, user development, this is my user, will also become the owner of this record related to Jenny Point. Which record? Jenny Point. That are owned by you. What are I'm going to share it? Open opportunities, contract, order information, contact information, notes and attachment, open activities. These all I'm going to share it. Now this is on the account level. This is on account level. Now, if you click on the change owner, the owner will be changed.
But transfer can happen only in cases and leads, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Now we have this owner on every object. Whatever we are talking about, the public read write transfer, that is only on lead and case. That is the OWD restriction. Now here, when I click on it, on each object, if I click on it, I can transfer to another user, which is possible. Every object will have that. Every object has an owner. There is a default owner will be there for every object, right? Every object I can see, I can change the owner. But now if we go to the lead object, if I go to the lead object, if I go to the lead object, now what will happen here? All opportunities. Now let's open this lead. Details and this. See here the difference. On the account level, I was able to see only the users. Only the users I was able to see. On the account level, we were only able to see the users. That means all other object, I can only change the user. When it comes to the lead level, I have two levels of options. One is user level and queue. User level and queue. Okay. So either I can change it to the user or I can change it to the queues. Now, when we are talking about the change lead ownership is different from the OWD option. Change lead owner is change the owner option is completely different from here. OWD is a permission whether can I transfer or not. Whether can I transfer or not. If I have a write transfer option is there, then I have a flexibility to transfer it. Right? Now, let's suppose this is OWD option. Right now, what we are talking about is we are talking about owner change. Every object will have a owner change. Owner change option will be there on the every object. This we cannot restrict. This we cannot restrict. Now let me log in as the development user. Now let's log in as a development user. Now, customers. Now view all. Now what happened? This customer is able to see all the records which I already changed the ownership. Whatever the owners are there, I have already changed it. I have already changed it. Now if I go back, this is customer owner is Swapna, right? But I am able to see all the information because I checked one checkbox while sharing the changing ownership, transfer the record, right? Now this person is able to see the information. Now let's go to the lead. Go to the leads, all leads. Now let's click on this. Now detail section, this person is able to users and queue, both are there. Now here, first of all, let's go ahead and understand public read write transfer option in the OWD, then we will come to here. Otherwise it will be confused. Now, what is the public read write? Public read write transfer. So what will happen if I set public read write transfer? By using this feature, we can transfer the record ownership from one user to another user. Right? Now, once we transfer the record, one user to another user, the old user will be losing the access to the record. That means once the record transfer is done, once the record transfer done, then the old user will lose access on the record. Will lose the access on the record. And the new user or new owner will get full access. Control on the record. Now, as we mentioned that public read write transfer option will be available only for lead and case. That's the reason on the lead and case, we could see two options. One is queue and another one is user. User is by default will be there on all the object. This is lead and two types which we have. Two ways which we can share queue and user. But by default, Salesforce is giving the user change option. User change option. But queue, you will not see the queue. Queue, you will not see the queue. You will not see in another object. You will not see in another object. All the objects will have a user by default. What is the new thing that has the lead and case? Queue. Queue is linked with the public read write transfer. Okay. Now, while transferring the lead or case record owner, we can transfer to the either user. User is given by the Salesforce by default for all the other objects. Queue is especially you can see it from lead and case. You cannot see the queue option from different object. Now let me log out. If I go to the lead, I can see the queue, and case level also I can see it. But if I go to the opportunity, does opportunity has the queue? It does not have the queue. So by default, Salesforce is giving the user owner change. User owner change, but it does not give the option of queue. Queue will be there only for lead and case. Now, what is the queue means here? What is exactly the queue means? Now, let's suppose that I have a company or some service center is there. Okay. Let's suppose Dell, the laptop service center is there. Laptop service center. They do all kind of a manufacturing. They build a new laptops, or they repair the laptops, or they replace the laptops. All kind of a manufacturing will be done. All kind of a manufacturing will be done. Now, let's assume that they have a certain team. They have a team in their company. They have a team. Let's assume that they have around 5 members or 4 members of the team who will be dedicated for all the laptop thing. They have a different. Let's assume the Dell company deal with softwares. Dell company deal with the other members like a laptop, and also they deal with the Salesforce. They deal with the different softwares. They do that, pen drive, everything, right? So now I have a three members or 4 members. Assume that there is a users are available. Now, whenever I bought a laptop a year back, or maybe I recently bought it. I recently bought the laptop. Now it has some issue with the laptop. I don't know what is the issue. Something is not working with the laptop. I cannot able to start it, or the performance is very low when I open the Windows, or when I open the Notepad, the performance is slow for even for Notepad. It takes a lot of time. So some issue is there with the laptop. The software which is there in the laptop is not right. It's not supporting. Now I wanted to raise a case. In order to raise a case for the laptop, or let's assume that, okay, for the laptop, if I wanted to raise a issue. So first thing what we do, not only the laptop, let's suppose a Salesforce. Let's take a Salesforce. Salesforce also, they have a team, support team. Salesforce team is there. Salesforce team, the support team is there. Now I wanted to raise a ticket to the support team, saying that in the production, I have some issue. When we have some issue, it is a critical. It is a critical. Now I cannot wait for other person to respond. I need to immediately call that person. I wanted to call the person and raise a ticket, explain what is the issue is happening. How can I call? There will be some number will be there for the Salesforce support, right? Something 800, let's assume that 787-2345. This is the number. This is the call center number or customer care number. Customer care number. I wanted to call this customer care and inform them saying that I really need somebody to fix this issue immediately. So if I raise a case, what will happen? That will be based on their availability, it will be taken care. Now I have to call this person. So I call this person, right? So somebody has picked up this in the house. Somebody has picked the information. These are the two service center people who attend the calls. Now I raised it, I called them and I explained properly what is the issue is happening here. Now they say that, okay, we will raise a ticket. Do not worry, we will raise a ticket with a high critical. So what they will do, they will create a case inside the system. They will create a case inside the system, right? Now, when this person creates a case inside the system, now what will happen? This person has to send the case to the certain members. Now, for example, let's take, I have a bank details, okay? Let's take that is the right one. Instead of this, I have a bank, okay? I have an account in the bank. Now I shifted to the US. Now I wanted to, something is not working in the bank account or my money is, I'm not able to transfer it. I'm not able to transfer the money. Now I wanted to call the service center. I cannot raise a ticket. I wanted to call the India service center. So I called India service center, right? That India service center, what they will do, this person will pick up the call. This person will pick up the call and they will connect with the customer, one of the customer, and he will collect all the information and this person will raise a ticket and say that, madam, we will connect back with you once we have the resources available. That means once we place the technician, you will be contacted. Now, when this person created a case, this person has to transfer the record or send the case to the respective groups. This person has to send case to the respective groups. That means whoever is the person is calling from the US, there is one person is calling from the US. So that person is calling from the US. This is India call center number. It is not specific to the city. It is not specific to the city. Now this India call center, that person has called it very emergency because amount is, they cannot transfer or something is happening with the amount that is very critical. Now they called India call center. Now this person has to transfer this to the respective city bank team, right? If the bank account is related to the Hyderabad, then the person has to transfer the case to the Hyderabad service center or Hyderabad service team. If the account is in the Bangalore or they have opened the Bangalore, then we have to transfer. Wherever we open the account in the bank, we have to talk to that person only because that is the person who is the right person. Then we have here Vizag. Okay, so Vizag service center. Wherever we open the bank account, if we wanted to have any discussion or if we wanted to talk a problem, the first thing what we have to do is we have to raise a ticket to that respective team members. We have to raise a ticket to that respective team members. Now we have a different teams. We have Hyderabad Service Center, we have Bangalore Service Center, and we have a Vizag Service Center. In each service center, we have a different people. We have different people. As in that, in Hyderabad Center, some 2 members are there or 3 members are there. They are completely taking care of it. Now, what this person will do, he will create a case. When this person will create a case, as soon as the case is created inside the system, now the owner is this person name. This person is the owner. Who is that person? Some engineering one. Okay, some engineering one is the person who is creating the record. As soon as the record is created, this record will be owned by this person. Now this person need not to do anything. This person work is to create a case, collect the information from the customer and create the case. Now he has collected all the information from the customer and he created the case. Now his work is done. Now keeping the case with him doesn't make any sense. Keeping the case on his name doesn't make any sense. He has to transfer the record to the certain group, whether if it is related to the Hyderabad Center, he has to pass it to the Hyderabad Center. If it is the bank is opened in the Bangalore, then he has to transfer the record into the Bangalore. If the bank account is opened in the Vizag, then Vizag is the right people to take the ownership of that case. So based on the availability, based on the other availability, we have to transfer the record. We have to transfer the record, right? So this is how we are doing it. Now, can I transfer directly to the user? This person, whoever is the owner is right now the person, username is E1. Now, can this person transfer the user? No, he cannot, he don't know what are the users are there in the Hyderabad Center. I do not want to deal with the user. I do not want to deal with some service engineering one directly. There should be a something which is created. There should be a something group which is created. So here what we will do in this case is we will create a queue. We will create a queue. Inside this queue, we will have a queue members. We call them as a queue members. Possible that queue members will be 1 member or multiple members will be there. We call them as queue members. These are the queue members. So I create a queue and I'll give that queue member to this person instead of this person directly going into the single user. Because tomorrow what will happen if this person know these users? Let's suppose that this is the person P1 and P2, P3. These are the persons, okay? Now if this person knows this P1, then what will happen? This person directly assign the case to this user. When this person directly assign the case to this user says that I'm fully occupied for at least for 1 week. I cannot take any new cases. Now he will ask this person, can you give me other person name so that I can assign the case to that person? Then this person will go back to the other person who is the P2. Now P2 will say that, no, I'm not available. I'm not ready to take that case because I have some other escalation cases are there. I cannot take it for today or tomorrow, at least for 3 days, I cannot. Now this person will ask, is there anybody? Then he will go back to this person. Now when he goes back to this person will say that from tomorrow onwards, I'm on vacation for at least 2 weeks. Now what this person should do? This person is nowhere. He doesn't know what to do. Now, instead of having all these communication, all these communications, what we can do is we can simply give a queue to this person, whoever the call center person is there. I'll give a queue to that person so that this person will create a case assigned to the queue member. Assigned to the queue. Inside the queue, we'll have a different queue members we have. We will assign directly to the queue. We need not to worry about who is available. Now, whenever it is reached to the queue, how these people will know that once their work is done, which one should I need to pick it up? How these people will know? These members will know. How he will know? As soon as the case is assigned to queue, there is a one email goes to the queue members. There is a one email goes to the queue or queue members. Both of them we can send. Queue will have a separate generic email box. Each user will have their own specific emails. So everybody will receive the email saying that there is a one case is added to your queue. And go ahead and look at that case. So whoever the next available person is there, the person will go and pick up the case from the queue and assign it to that person. Assign it to that person. Now, while assigning the case, there are two ways which we can do it. The user, this customer care will do it in two ways. One is manual sharing, he can directly assign the queue, and another one is automated share. Two ways this person can raise a case. One is manual sharing, and another one is, manual transfer. And another one is automated transfer. Automated transfer. Either of one we can do that, right? How do we do the automated transfer? Using the assignment rules that we will talk tomorrow. So how we do the automated transfer? We have something called assignment rule. We'll talk whenever that automated transfer will come. We'll talk about that. Right. So this is how the case is getting assigned to the specific queue. Whenever it is assigned to specific queue, all the members inside the queue, which is we call them as a queue member, everybody will receive an email saying that there is a new case is added to the queue. And till how long the record will be sit in the queue? It will unless any of the person is free. Till that time it will sit into the queue. So queue is nothing but the location or the repository. The location or the repository where all the pending records will be awaiting for the process. That means nobody has taken up this. These are the pending records will be awaiting to process it. Right? Is it clear?
Yeah, madam.
Okay. So we'll see the rest of the things tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.